Hi, Denise Naylor here, and welcome to News Views on Friday, the 2nd of March 2018. Today I want to talk about anti-money laundering, AML. The week before last, the Gambling Commission, the regulator, fined William Hill Group, which is a bookmaker's company, £6.2 million. They're calling it a penalty package for money laundering failures. On their website, they say, quote, senior management failed to mitigate risks and have sufficient numbers of staff to ensure their anti-money laundering processes were effective. This resulted in 10 customers being allowed to deposit large sums of money linked to criminal offences. William Hill Group did not adequately seek information about the source of their funds. Now, it's about 12 years since I took my anti-money laundering test. I took the training and the test. I passed the test because at the time I was involved with businesses that were generating cash, dealing with cash. And first point I'd like to make is that it's not the job of the frontline staff, say the bank teller or the person taking the money at the bookmaker, to accuse anybody of money laundering. But it is their job to be alert. So, for example, our trainer told us, let's take an example. There's a chap and he goes to the bank every Friday and he takes out £100. And then he crosses the road and in his lunch hour, and he goes into the bookmaker and he places a bet for £100. And, you know, he's done that for years. You might even know him by name. So when he goes in, you know, hi Joe, how are you? And he places his bets. And suddenly one Friday he comes in as usual, but he doesn't place £100 as a bet, he places £1,000. Now, our trainer told us at that point you need to open up a conversation. If you've established a relationship, for example, you know him by name, you may even know where he lives and recognise him if he's part of the local community. You just maybe might say to him, oh, hi Joe, you know, have you come into any money, you know, maybe your auntie died and left you some money? And if it's a genuine situation, the chances are that the customer will tell you, oh yeah, you know, yeah, my uncle has been living abroad and unfortunately he passed away. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that, Joe. And yeah, we've all got a bit of money, so yeah, that's that. But if the customer's a bit cagey or is a bit resistant, and then let's say 2 weeks later he comes in and he's betting with £2,000, then you're required under the anti-money laundering regulations to report that person to senior management. So the Gambling Commission, www.gamblingcommission.gov.uk, is correct in pointing the finger at the senior management when they say senior management failed to mitigate the risks. Because, as I say, it's not the result of the front line, it's not the job of the front line to identify the problem, but they do need to report it to management. Now, why, you know, what is behind this? Well, the way I like to look at it is this. When somebody obtains money through criminal activities, I'm not talking about inheriting from your uncle, but, you know, through cash businesses that are not declared on your tax return, anything like that, then the rest of us pay more tax. And I don't know about you, but I don't like paying more tax. So it's just fair. And that's the level at which I support anti-money laundering. Solicitors and accountants, you know, are examples of professional people who are quite vulnerable because, for example, people go to buy a house, they put down a lump of cash as a deposit, and the solicitor, the conveyancing solicitor, has to ask them, you know, where's this money come from, and so on. Then you've got cash generative businesses, banks, bookmakers, post offices, corner shops, all of these situations where there's a lot of cash being dealt with. Now, talking of cash, always a nice subject, you probably know that yesterday, 1st of March, was the day for the new £10 note, or rather it was the day when the old £10 note is no longer legal tender. Again, it's quite surprising to me. I remember a few years ago listening to gossip in the hairdressers, yes, okay, and one of the ladies was saying, well, you know, I discovered that one of my aunties they always kept cash in the house. They ran a business, and they kept cash in the house. And after they passed away, we went into the house. She told the story. And we found cases worth of money. But of course, it was all old currency. Interesting, isn't it? So there are some people, I'm not saying I'm one of them, who think that when the Bank of England changes the currency, yes, it's supposed to be more secure. This is plastic money, it's supposed to be indestructible. We'll see. But there's also an element of anti-money laundering, catching out all those people who haven't put their cash in the bank. So check out down the back of the sofa at home, just in case you've got an old £10 note. You've got a short window of time when the banks will honour it, I suspect, but change it for the new £10 note. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting CashGenieGlobal.com. Remember, it's about education. Always go back to the original sources, form your own opinion, reflect on the news, don't jump to any conclusion, and do join me again.